up, you guys? It's your girl Angela. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. Hey, hello. Today's video is going to be a quick video about how to research law firms, okay? There's several reasons why a person would want to research a law firm, and so we're going to talk about it. So those reasons could be an array of things, right? It could be because you have an interview with them. You want to get to know more about the law firm. You want to know what they do. You want to know all about them. Another reason could be is you're researching firms because you want to know what law firm you want to work for, right? You want to know how to find law firms that interest you. Another reason could be you have offers from more than one law firm and you're really trying to understand the differences between those law firms so you can make the best decision on which law firm you decide to go to. Like I said, there's an array of reasons why a person would want to research a law firm, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that you're likely considering employment with that law firm or hoping to get employment with that law firm. So there are a ton of resources out there online that you can use to get a little bit more insight into the firms, okay? A lot of times you will go on these interviews. Obviously the firm is gonna give you their spiel about the firm, let you meet some people, even offer to ask questions about the firm, which I suggest that you do ask those questions. But sometimes you come from the interview, you have more questions, you wanna, get some questions answered that you might not have been able to get answered, or you haven't even interviewed with this firm, so you really don't have access to the people you need to get your questions answered. So what do? Luckily, there's a ton of resources, like I said. To name a few, there's NALP, there's Above the Law, there's The Vault, and there's the various chambers websites, okay? And I'll link all these and some others down below in the description box, so don't worry about trying to, Google it. I'll put it down there. The other thing you can do is just go straight to the firm's website, okay? What is the messaging that they're putting about the firm out there in the world? Those types of things are gonna be very, very insightful, believe it or not. Another thing you can do is ask around, okay? If you guys are looking at law firms, if you guys are mulling over law firms, you're likely in the legal space, right? You're in law school, okay? You have law professors, you know other law students, you likely know lawyers now at this point. So ask around, okay? Especially if you're looking at law firms in the same city as your law school, or if you're looking at larger, more nationally known law firms, somebody's gonna know something, okay? So talk to your professors, talk to the other law students, talk to any lawyers you know, and that way you can get some insight on the reputation of the firm, what is said about that firm, other people's outlooks on that firm. The next thing you can do is Google the firm, okay? Likely there's gonna be some sort of news articles coming up, some sort of insight as to what the firm's involved in, what cases, what transactions, what initiatives that firm is involved in and a part of. Okay, so now that we've quickly talked about what type of resources you can use to research this firm, let's talk about what you should be looking for when you are researching the firm, okay? So one important thing that you should be looking for when you're researching the firm is what type of work they do, okay? That is super, super important if you're thinking about employment with that firm, because obviously you wanna make sure what services they provide aligns with which services you want to offer, okay? What you want your career to be, what you want your practice to be, okay? So if you want to be a transactional attorney, well, obviously when you do some research on a litigation boutique firm, you will know that the things that they do not align with your interest, okay? Another thing you want to look into is what that firm is known for, right? Again, it gives you an insight at what you can expect from the firm's culture, from the services they offer, what kind of opportunities you would have, and all sorts of things like that. That is very, very important, and it gives you some real insight into what you can expect working at the firm will be like, okay? For example, if you're looking at a New York firm and you see that they do a lot of IPOs, well, you will get to work on some major, major transaction if you go in the particular securities group that firm has. Again, you guys, it's all about reading in between the lines about what you can expect at that firm. For example, if you want to be a litigator, right, and you are looking at a firm that offers litigation but leans more heavily, is known more heavily for your more transactional type work, you might take that into consideration. Well, what types of litigation work do they do? If they're more leaning heavily on transactional, or is there pretty much an equal weight that no matter what path I go down, I will have access to good substantive work and get some great training because they have great lawyers. So these are the things that you want to focus on. Also, with knowing what the firm, is known for and what their major groups are within that firm, would allow you to know kind of what the makeup of the practice groups look like, okay? So within a law firm, you have different practice groups usually, if it's in a full service law firm, right? You have some firms that do strictly one type of law, but a lot of firms do more than one type of law, particularly your full service firms, right? So if you are in a firm that offers a little bit of litigation, a little bit of estate planning, and then mostly private equity, right? Well, you can imagine that their litigation and their wealth planning group will be a little bit smaller. So if you really want, you know, some top training and litigation, you might look at a firm that's either more equalized or more litigation focused. Another thing you should look into is, where is the firm located? Do they have one office? Do they have 10 offices? Do they have 25 offices? You know, you want to know those types of things based on what it is you're interested in. If you want to do international law, but your firm only is located in the United States, you know, those types of things you want to look into. And we can even take it, that's a little dramatic, but we can even scale it back. You know, say for example, you're from Texas, but you are practicing law in New York. Does your New York firm have a Texas office that you could maybe transition to later in your life when you want to, you know, settle down and start a family? Or when you're visiting your family, do they have a Texas office that you can go to and practice at? I know for me, that's a really big perk for me, is that I can go practice in other places because I work at a law firm that has multiple locations. So do those things matter to you, and will they be beneficial to you? Those are things that, if important to you, you can get more insight and information on when you're researching the law firm. Okay, the other thing you should look into is culture, okay? Culture is huge in law firms because you work with these people all the time. You know, prior to the pandemic, these people you saw more than some of your family members, okay? Because you were working with them every single day, all day, and sometimes nights, okay? So the culture is important. Will you get along with the people? Will you fit in with the people? Is the firm being led in a direction that aligns with your interests and your values, okay? So one thing you can do is just go to the firm's mission statement, okay? A mission statement says a lot. From my experience, companies put a lot of thought in their mission statement. Okay, so here's where you go back to asking around. Talk to professors, talk to other law students, talk to lawyers, reach out to lawyers on LinkedIn and ask them for coffee and get to know them, see what their personality's like, ask them questions, ask other law students that clerked at that particular firm. Do your due diligence, and aside from, you know, the actual meeting of the firm, if you have an interview, it will give you good insight as to the culture of the firm. Another thing you can do is, like I mentioned before, look into the initiatives they're in. Does the firm have a pro bono initiative, okay? Does the firm allow people to work on pro bono matters? These are the type of things that you can ask recruiters when you are interviewing and talking with people from the firm. Okay, so the next one is huge. Research salary and benefits, okay? No matter what your purpose is for being a lawyer, we all have to eat, we all have bills to pay, and we all wanna make sure we know what the salary and benefits are, okay? And so obviously the firm will give you insight to that, you know, when you get hired, or if you're interviewing and things like that. But also there are resources online that do give you some insight into the typical salary. NALP is a big one. I'll make sure to link things down below, but particularly in the big law, mid-sized law firm space. So you can find all of this stuff. Like I said, particularly when we're talking big law and mid law, especially in your larger markets such as New York, Texas. For a lot of firms, those starting salaries are pretty lockstep, okay? One of the resources I mentioned above the law, they literally track bonuses, raises at different types of firms, okay? So do your diligence, okay? There's information out there. Now, it won't be a promise that it's 100% accurate or that it's across the board, but it does give you some insight, guys. So do your due diligence. Another thing to research is the type of clients the law firm services. If you have a particular interest in a certain industry, well, it's important to know that the clients provided aligns with your interests. Like for me, for example, I found out I wanted to be a business lawyer. So it was important to me, the clients that my law firms that I've worked at service were businesses. I wanted to learn about businesses. I wanted to work in the business world, okay? Or say you know, have an engineering background in oil and gas, but you go to law school. Well, a place like Houston would be great for you because there's a lot of energy and oil and gas work there. They service a lot of oil and gas and energy clients. Look at those things to determine whether they align with your interests, okay? Another one that is huge is to try to see how much you can find out about the billable hour requirement, okay? I get a lot of questions from a lot of you guys about how much you work and work-life balance. Well, one thing to do is decide what you want your life to look like. Do you want to work a 9 to 5, or are you okay with working weekends and nights, okay? Because when you look at the billable hour requirement, that will kind of give you some insight on how much you're going to be expected to work, okay? If you research your firm and you find out they have a 2,200 billable hour requirement, you can kiss that 9 to 5 goodbye, okay? Knowing that that's a priority to you, you would not go work for that firm. And like I said, a lot of these answers you can get from the firm once you're already in the interview process and stuff like that. But this is for people who are doing research outside of the interview process, before the interview process even comes up, when you're targeting firms, when you're deciding where you even want to apply. Okay, so one more thing I want to talk about before I let you guys go is researching things that are important to you. Okay, I had a bunch of people reach out to me specifically just because I am a Black woman and ask me a lot about diversity. Okay, these are things that you can get a feel for and you can understand even before going into the law firm. Okay, I'm using diversity as an example because I'm hearing a lot from you guys. But like I said, if you're into, you know, more public service work and you want to make sure the firm cares about nonprofit work or, you know, pro bono work, those are types of things that you can research. But specifically for diversity, there's a couple things you can do. You can look up the statistics. Sometimes they're dated, you know, they'll probably be 1 or 2 years old, but you can look up statistics regarding what the makeup of that firm is. Okay, the percentage of minorities that they have, the percentage of women that they have. You can also look at the different positions within the firm, right? You know, you'll find that many firms have what they call a chief diversity officer or something along that nature. Someone whose job is specifically geared towards diversity. Also, you can look into whether the firm has different groups, different affinity groups, because these groups are minorities within the legal profession. Again, with the news articles, a lot of times it'll pop up and you'll see that a firm has donated to a certain cause, or you'll see they're involved in a certain cause. And a lot of times firms themselves will announce the initiatives that they are involved in, you know, say on their website or on their various social media pages, because those things look good, so they want the world to know. So I do think it's important when you're kind of strategizing and planning where you want to work, where you want to target, whether you're choosing between firms, to look at those types of things, because they will help you make your decision and make sure it's the right fit for you. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I did not want it to be too long. I really hope you guys found it helpful. If you have any other video ideas, let me know in the comments below. Okay, you guys, I do want to know what you guys want to see. I have been trying to switch it up a little bit. So with that, make sure you like this video, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you hit that post notification bell so you get notified every single time I upload, and check out my description box for answers to your frequently asked questions, as well as links to all the things that I mentioned in my videos or you see in my videos, and any sort of discount codes and anything. That's all down below. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.